All right, I think this is a great time to get started. So, if you're just joining us, this is Alan from Hireology. I'm really excited for today's quick hits series on consolidating pre hire tools to hire faster. If this is your first time watching one of these, Hireology wanted to really just hit the reset button. I think a lot of us have Zoom fatigue. So, what we've done is just create a smaller series of webinars. So, what you're viewing right now is the fifth and final installment of our series on just sharing some general best practices of what we're seeing in the market today. If you have been with us since version one at the beginning of May, first of all, thank you. And second, if this might be one of your first or second ones that you're attending, just know that we record all of these. So this will be sent out immediately after the broadcast to share with any colleagues who may not have been able to attend today's live session. But we also host all of these at hireology.com/events. So if you ever want to go back and browse through some of our previous recordings, all of that is free and open to you to do so. So just wanted to start with a little bit of housekeeping there. The topic of today's presentation is just taking a look at what Hireology is seeing in the employment landscape as things continue to open. And we have a couple of actionable takeaways that we're recommending to some of our customers. So this is just pretty much for everybody in a general audience format to just get an understanding of what's going on out there and how to overcome some of the obstacles that our customers are facing that we're seeing in the market to help you hire faster. So, really excited to dig in. I think the content will take maybe 15 to 20 minutes today, and then I will let everybody go. Have a really wonderful afternoon. So, with that kind of in place, I kind of wanted to frame up the challenges that we're seeing today and that we're hearing from a lot of our customers. So, taking a look at this slide, probably a lot of headlines that really resonate with everybody on this call. And so, while we're very optimistic and excited about the economy that's continuing to reopen, vaccination rates are going up, businesses are opening. Um, it's really exciting, but a lot of the challenges we hear from our business customers is that they're just not able to keep up with the sheer demand that their businesses are calling for open roles. And I think this is something the Hireology team is also experiencing ourselves is we're looking to potentially increase our head count by 10%, just given the amount of open roles that we have. And so I know that we're experiencing it. I know that everybody on this call and who's listening to this recording likely is too. It's so what we're kind of seeing is this mismatch between the amount of jobs we have open and the amount of applicants that our businesses and ourselves want to fill in these roles. We're calling this the new applicant economy. And this is something that if you've been a longtime listener and you might have been on some of our webinars that we've led you through, through 2020 and getting through the midst of the pandemic. But even going back to 2018 and 2019, we talked about this idea of the applicant economy. And the thought there is that regardless if unemployment is at an all-time low or an all-time high, there is a certain kind of person that's really great, qualified, and dependable that you want working for you. And that person is going to be in demand no matter what the economic landscape looks like. And so what we're seeing here is we continue to open up is that's still the story today. And so what I want to dig into is some of the reasons why we're seeing some of the challenges and how this really should not detract from the focus on finding that really outstanding applicant as part of this new applicant economy. So with that, let's dig into what some people on our team call the perfect storm of everything that's causing challenges for our applicant flow today. And so, if you're anything like Hireology, you might have weathered the storm of the pandemic and might now be cautiously optimistic about opening up your roles as the broader economy opens. But you might be challenged with finding really great people to bring in. You might be getting a little pressure on this applicant flow because there may not be as many people applying to your jobs today as you would like. And so we took a look at this applicant flow problem, and we hear the chatter as well that there's so many different factors. What could it be? And when we took a step back to understand some of the broader economic conditions, there's four key factors that we really wanted to go through in terms of what's causing this. One is nothing new. This is retiring baby boomers. So even pre-pandemic, again, when we've had similar talks like this, retiring baby boomers were leaving the economy at a rate of about 10,000 retirees a day. And as we come out of the pandemic, this is an issue that isn't going away anytime soon. So baby boomers are continuing to retire. One thing that we are seeing as a result of the pandemic is women are continuing to leave the workforce and be disproportionately impacted by furloughs and unemployment. So that has been the case for the past couple of months. And unfortunately, women are a majority of the workforce today. So having them be disproportionately taken out for childcare, managing schoolwork with children who are, just about to go on summer vacation, that is really impacting a very, very large part of the economy. And so, having women get back to their roles is something that I think is going to really define the success of the recovery. As we want them to get back into the economy. Finally, among working aged males, there has been declining labor participation since about the early 1980s. So men are also leaving the workforce. And then finally, one of the factors that we likely see in the media that's played up more is certainly one of the factors, but it's not the only one. And that's people choosing to stay on unemployment benefits. For more entry level talent, their unemployment advanced benefits may exceed the wages they could be getting for some of their roles. Others might still be a little nervous to get back into the economy with everything related to COVID. And so taking a look at these items one by one doesn't tell us the full story, but really when you look at the holistic picture of people retiring at record rates, and then working age people, whether they're male or female, returning to the economy slower than expected, as well as those unemployment benefits, this is working together to essentially suppress the amount of working age people who we want to get into those roles. And so, among all of the reasons why we are having an applicant flow problem, the one area that we want people to get in as quickly as possible is for those top talented people who we know can get the job done. And we know that for those most qualified applicants, that top talent goes really, really fast. These are the people that are your rock stars today that you want to staff up fully with. They are in such high demand, they can take their skills wherever they would like. And so it makes sense though, if they are the most qualified, they have the skills, they're eager to work, it's really easy for this audience to get roles wherever they would want. And so these are the people that I want us to focus on. So they're not necessarily the people who are staying home on unemployment. These are the people who are eager to get out there, earn a living, and really make a difference and grow their career. And so the biggest implication is, how do I attract this top person? And so we've actually done a lot of data here, and I'm really excited. This is going to be the first group that gets a sneak peek to see some of the research that we've conducted during COVID that we're releasing later this year. And so before I get into this slide, to just maybe preview this a little bit, we have conducted a survey with a lot of our customers, job applicants who have been looking for work between January 1st and May 31st of this year. So we sent a survey out to about 1 million job applicants as we power a lot of the hiring process for our customers. And of those million, we had 5,000 people fill out a really comprehensive survey to just give us a better understanding of the job search. So a lot of the research that we're about to walk through shows what these top job seekers had in mind when they were looking for work in a post-COVID environment. And so one of the things I wanted to just showcase to this group is this piece of research here that I thought was incredibly eye-opening. So one of the questions that we ask applicants on an annual basis is just getting an understanding of their job search. How many jobs are they looking to apply to in their most recent job search? And so if I was presenting this slide in years past, so looking at our survey data from 2018 or 2019, a vast majority of our customers' job seekers would apply to between 1 and 4 jobs. That's where 75% of the respondents would fall. And so it was pretty eye-opening to see that virtually half of the respondents applied to at least 11 to 16 plus jobs, with over a third of them applying to more than 16 jobs. So, what this is telling me is that there is an audience of applicants out there who are incredibly eager for work and are looking left and right to whatever position they can get. Looking at a graph like this, I know one of the things that we talked about internally is, are these people only looking for work to stay on unemployment? And I would disagree with that notion. I think to stay on unemployment, if somebody is applying to one job every couple of weeks to just continue to cash that check, that makes sense to me. I feel like if 35% of people are applying to 16 plus jobs in their most recent job search, that is telling me that they are incredibly motivated. So this is, I think, the new normal. And what this is also telling me as a hiring manager is I'm probably going to get an influx of applicants who may or may not be qualified for my open roles. And that has the potential to slow down my process. If for every 16 job applications, only one of them is seriously considering me and 15 might be for other companies, that might add a lot of administrative burden if I don't have a really great process in place. And one of the key topics I want to focus in on today's session is talking about hiring efficiency. So, speaking of efficiency, one of the other things we asked for was just roughly how long for the applicant did it take in the job search. So this includes everything from starting their research, going through the application process, interviewing, and accepting an offer. And so it's really telling to me that while a lot of the applicants are applying to multiple and multiple roles, the process is still moving very, very fast. And again, this is something I don't think should be a surprise to anybody on this call. Likely you have multiple roles open that you would hopefully like to staff up yesterday. I know I'm in that same position right now. And so looking at the data here, we're seeing that a big slice of these applicants are able to not only start, but conclude their job search within 2 weeks. So imagine your open roles being able to potentially fill them within 2 weeks' time. That's what these top applicants are seeing. So 16.7% are able to get and land that new job in under a week, which that is incredibly surprising to me. But it shouldn't be, since a lot of these top companies are looking to staff up so quickly and identify these great workers to come into the roles. So this is really telling me that a lot of the staffing challenges and really being able to connect with these top applicants, it's happening not over the course of multiple weeks and months. It's happening over the course of days. And so this is telling me that these customers who are really going to be successful as they look to staff multiple roles are going to have a lightning fast process in place. So I'm not advocating for cutting corners. At Hireology, we believe that the process should be a phone screen, a couple of interviews with key stakeholders, conducting references, doing a background check, negotiating the offer, all within the hiring process. So I'm not saying that we're skipping any steps. I think that what this is telling me is the customers who are towards the left side of the chart, so they're able to run very fast processes, they have a really lightning fast system in place where the hiring manager is getting back to them quickly, the interviews are getting scheduled and happening fast, and that they're able to accept an offer and start really, really quickly. That to me is going to be the new normal of at least the next couple of months. And so think about what your hiring process is today. Is it working for you? Is everything connected? Are you able to make sure that any decisions that need to happen among other hiring managers on your team, do you have the tools in place to get that done? Because this, I think, is going to be the new normal when it comes to attracting those top applicants. People who are really desperate for work are not going to wait around for a slow or ineffective process. They're going to be attracted to these companies where they could find and land their next role and even start collecting a better paycheck within 1 to 2 weeks. So really, really interesting data that we're starting to see just from the survey that we recently had in market. And so, speaking of speed, one of the last things that we asked applicants was just how positive would they feel about a really fast response time from the recruiter. And to nobody's surprise, a vast majority of people would feel very positive. So 84% of a recruiter taking less than a week to respond to their application. Again, I don't think this should be surprising, especially if we go back and the time frame of just the applicant response if that is this 1 week period that we're just getting back, while some people are actually completing the entire hiring process, that's no surprise to me. So for me, one of the key takeaways is applicants are looking for a really quick response. Whether it's a go or a no go decision, they just want to keep the process moving quickly. They don't want to apply for a role and hear back several weeks later. In today's climate, they probably will have been on their newest role for a couple of weeks, especially if they are in that top camp of high performers. So this kind of upfront narrative is all about speed. And so you might be asking yourself, how do I speed up my process? And that's a really good question to be asking. And again, I mentioned it before. The thought about speed is not to cut corners. We still want to take care of all of the required steps in the hiring process. So applicants today are looking for a really fast application review. The expectation is still that they hear about the role and get some basic detail on the phone screen. They go through the interview process. Potentially, there might be skills tests if they are in for a slightly more advanced role or one that requires specialty skills. Going through references and a background check, and then finally negotiating their offer. So these are still things that are going to be expected from the process, but it has to be really, really efficient. And so today, depending on what you have in your organization today, your hiring process might look like this, where the applicant is absolutely in the center, but you might be managing one vendor for background checks. You might have a separate tool, might be Google Docs, it might be Microsoft Office to communicate with your managers. You probably have a disconnected payroll system. You might be managing your job boards on the one-off. You might be doing something separately for onboarding. All of these systems today might be set up for success in a pre-COVID world, but what we're really seeing our top companies do, and again, think about that bar graph again, and think about the hiring process that can be completed within 1 to 2 weeks. We're starting to see that, yes, the applicant should be the center of the process, but really you should have all of your systems connected around them. So everything from attracting applicants on social media or job boards to going through the hiring process, running your verifications like skills tests, background checks, and references, being able to onboard them, track offer letters, and then sync them over to payroll. Our top customers have all of this simultaneously working for them. With us, it's within the Hireology platform. We also connect to a number of post-hire solutions. This is by no means meant to be a sales pitch, but we are starting to see a lot of efficiencies by having this all in one unified system, whether it's Hireology or some of the other vendors out there. This is really quickly becoming table stakes to connect with that top talent incredibly quickly and get them on staff. And so this is really what we're seeing to be the post-COVID way of running your people process. And some of the top companies were doing this in the years before COVID, but we are starting to see this become the new normal because connecting with those top applicants is so critical, and it can only be done if those systems are working and talking together. So this is helpful to see, this sort of centralized graph. What I want to do is also separately break this down into our component parts. And so the Hireology standard process is looking at your hiring process almost like a sales funnel. Adam Robinson, our founder and our CEO, one of his key messages is that for no matter what kind of business you're in today, you need to take a look at your open roles like it's a product you're selling. And so we've kind of borrowed that sales funnel metaphor here. And so there's three key components to the hiring process funnel. The top is attract. How are you going to find these top applicants and convince them that your roles are their perfect career move? And so we have a lot of success integrating with a number of different sourcing channels. So internal referrals are always a great channel. Having a content-rich career site, making sure you're set up for SEO success, so that if somebody types in dealership technician roles near Pensacola, Florida, if I'm a dealer in that locale, I will be appear at the top of the Google search results. Facebook also has an organic job feed that we integrate with. So really being able to diversify across those applicant channels and of course, our usual suspects over at job boards, we want to make sure that we have presence there. But what we're starting to find is that our customers who are leveraging all of these channels are having an easier time connecting with top talent versus people who may be throwing all of their eggs in one basket with job boards, for example. So we always recommend a really diversified sourcing strategy is the best way to success to make sure you're connecting with as many applicants as possible. The middle part of the funnel is your hiring process. So this is everything from the candidate engagement to make sure that they have a really great experience and that your team feels really comfortable with the talent that they're bringing on board. So this includes everything from email and text messaging communication, the interviews you're running. So are you running the same interview questions for each and every one of your candidates, and are you scoring them objectively? We talked a little bit about verification. So if you have some specialty roles, are you running skills tests to make sure that that person is capable of doing the job before you extend an offer to them? Of course, running references, background checks is something that we consider process best practices. And then, of course, extending the offer and having them accept in the platform, that all falls within your hiring process. So ask yourself, is that something that you have today? And is it set up to drive incredible velocity for your open roles? And then finally, at the very bottom of the funnel, this is where the new hire begins. And so it's the onboarding step. So this is making sure not only you're setting them up for success, you're getting them very excited for their first week on the job, but you're giving them the tools to complete their new hire paperwork at their own pace. So having this done digitally, I feel like in a post-COVID world, nobody wants to deal with physical paperwork. You don't know who's touched it. You have to store it then. Are you ever going to look at it again? So we really advocate for a digital first solution here that allows the new hires to start getting their paperwork filled out well before their first day on the job. That way they don't feel rushed and you're not playing babysitter on their first day so that they can actually be productive. And then finally, getting all of that paperwork they filled out into your payroll system, that should be digital as well. And so this is a really quick way of looking at the hiring processes we recommended. Again, this is something that all of our customers put in place. We would be happy to talk more if you have any questions on this quick run through of what the Hireology process looks like. And so with that, we're getting close to the end of the presentation. The one quick plug I wanted to make here is just for some of the things that our teams have been working on internally that I just wanted to make this group aware of as well. And so we mentioned it in the attract part of the funnel, but we have a brand new integration with jobs on Facebook. So Facebook, very large company, number one social media platform in the world. It's interesting that they are getting involved in the organic job board game. And so we have an integration with them coming that will allow any jobs that are opened within the Hireology platform to automatically appear in the jobs on Facebook organic feed. We have an integration with Facebook today that allows any roles open to automatically get posted to your Facebook business profile. So we are seeing a lot of success with our customers who have that integration. We're continuing our relationship with Facebook and are excited to see that they're very quickly becoming a major player in the job space. So we want to have a good relationship with them and have our customers see success there. The second feature that we launched at the end of last year is document collection. So this allows for more specialty roles. I know that we have a lot of people on the call today who may be in the healthcare space. And I know that that is such a critical industry when it comes to accreditation, certifications, immunization records. Those are things that have been really challenging to collect physically. We have a digital way of collecting those during the hiring process, which puts a lot of the burden on the applicant. So your hiring managers are not spent chasing down some of these forms during the interview stage. And it goes through in a very, very elegant way. The third thing I wanted to highlight also came out at the beginning of this year is integrated offer letters. So managing the entire offer process from within Hireology, where that was previously just over email. So this helps things stay very accurate, are very automated, and it happens within the platform. So you can track any sort of negotiations, but you can feel very confident that that information is very accurate. We allow your final round candidates to use e-signature to accept. So again, cutting down on paperwork and time. Mass transfer is a really great feature that we recently launched a couple of weeks ago that will help all of our customers who are either opening positions at all new locations, or they might have opened a role and they want to start that hiring manager up with a couple of candidates right away. So we allow them to not only transfer the contact record, but any existing interviews, application support material, things that were collected during document collection, reviews, any background checks, all of that will transfer simultaneously to save time. And then finally, the last thing I wanted to touch on before I let this group go is updates that we've made to our mobile app. So we just launched this at the very end of last year. We launched an update about a month ago that allows you to manage not only your new applicants, but your candidates within the mobile platform. And so what this allows you to do is if you have an open job, you likely have a couple of other things going on in your day to day where you might not be able to get back to your desk and review Hireology. Having the mobile app on your phone allows you to just do a really quick check to see if there's any new applicant activity. You can thumbs people up to move them through the hiring process. Or you can decline them right from mobile. We made a couple of enhancements so that you can see even more candidate data within the mobile app, and you can actually make the decision to hire somebody from our mobile app. So this is something that we've put a focus on. It comes with every base Hireology subscription. And we're actually seeing that our customers who are leveraging this are hiring at double the speed as people who are using our desktop app alone. So that is something that we love to advocate as a great way to stay ahead and connect with those applicants even faster to help overcome the challenges that some of our customers are seeing with applicant flow. So I know I reviewed those very, very quickly. Just wanted to highlight some of the new features we've been working on to help our customers better adjust to today's landscape. And that is everything that I had today. So I know we went a couple of minutes over. I promised 20 minutes, so apologies. I did want to just dive into some of the research. I love that stuff, and hopefully this group found that really, really beneficial. We actually don't have time, unfortunately, for a live Q&A session today, but what I would say is if there's any follow-up, any feedback, good or bad, we love producing these things. So give us any feedback on ways that we can improve. Should we continue to do similar series like this that are in more snackable bites? And then if you have any questions about the platform, send us an email. So it's just info@hireology.com. Myself and a handful of others are on this alias. So if any questions come up, a live person will see you, and we will get back to you as quickly as possible. But with that, I wanted to thank everybody again for joining us today. I know we went a couple of minutes earlier, but I thought it was really great material to dive into. So I will let everybody go. Reach out to info@hireology if there's any questions. And thanks again for your time. I know everybody is incredibly busy.